Welcome to Understanding the Theoretical Framework by the Teachers College Graduate Writing Center. As a graduate researcher at Teachers College, understanding and appropriately developing and integrating a theoretical framework in a research paper or dissertation is something you most likely will have to do. However, in our experience, we've found that many students are confused about what a theoretical framework is or how to develop and use one. The purpose of this webinar is to demystify the theoretical framework by defining it and providing concrete steps you can take to integrate it into your paper. Before we start, I'd like to credit the researchers, Dr. Cynthia Grant of the University of Colorado, Denver, and Dr. Zade Osanlu from New Mexico State University, who wrote the paper on which we have based this presentation. So let's get started. Grant and Osanlu referred to the theoretical framework as the blueprint for a house. Just as you cannot build a house without a blueprint, the theoretical framework is crucial to the foundation of the research paper or dissertation. We'll come back to this metaphor repeatedly in the presentation to stress the importance of the theoretical framework. So, now that we've talked up its importance, what exactly is a theoretical framework? A theoretical framework is a theory or set of theories that serve as the foundation for your paper. The theoretical framework helps you plan your research topics and underlies the concepts and definitions from the theory that are relevant to your topic. Going back to the house metaphor, the theoretical framework is the foundation from which you will build your paper. To be more concrete, there are lots of theories that you can choose from, and, though you may want to, you are not required to develop your own theory. Theories can be applied to multiple disciplines or may be specific to your discipline. This is just a list of potential theories that you can use. If you are unfamiliar with these, you may want to start learning about them in order to determine whether they can be applied to your paper. One way to familiarize yourself with theories within your discipline is to glean them from discipline-specific research papers you have read. Many authors will state and describe the theoretical frameworks they use, and you may borrow from these. You can also combine multiple theories into a new, specific strategy that may help you develop your paper. As the blueprint for your paper, the theoretical framework should be well integrated. Early on in your paper, you should define the theory you've chosen. This theory must align with all parts of your paper. This means that the introduction, the problem statement, the research questions, the literature review, the research methods, the findings, and the discussion sections should all align and be supported by your theoretical framework. For example, if I were to choose feminist theory as my theoretical framework, I would be sure to apply this lens to my entire paper, such that my literature review is aligned to feminist theory, my research questions are influenced by this lens, I analyze my findings from this perspective, and my discussion is aligned to feminist theory. Remember, it's the blueprint, so it should guide the development of each part of your metaphorical house. In addition to the theoretical framework, you may have come across the conceptual framework, and you might be wondering, what's the difference? While these are similar, they are not the same. While the theoretical framework comes from theories that have already been validated, the conceptual framework provides an approach to the research that includes how the research problem will be explored, the direction of the research, and the variables in the study. In particular, it guides the research plan and lays out its key factors. Notice the difference between the theoretical framework and the conceptual framework. As a theoretical framework, this paper seeks to employ theories from well-known theorists. As a conceptual framework, the focus is on best practices related to screening, diagnosis, and progress monitoring. Key principles are also applied to the conceptual framework, but these are in the form of concepts to be applied to the research plan rather than a distinct theory. As mentioned earlier, the theoretical framework should align to all parts of the paper. This includes the literature review. Here is a list of elements that should be included in your literature review. These ingredients should serve as a guide while you write your paper. Including each of these in this particular order may not be required for every paper, and this can be discussed with your professor ahead of time. A conceptual map may be helpful in determining how to align the theoretical framework and the literature review. The concept map may help you determine the elements that will be included in the literature review and how they align to the theoretical framework. Notice here the writer starts with feminist theory as their theoretical framework and derives specific concepts that will be discussed in the literature review: socialization in higher ed and high school, and women's experiences and male dominance. The literature review can be traced directly back to the theoretical framework. While you do not have to create a concept map, having a flow or organization in mind that connects the theoretical framework and the literature review will help ensure alignment in your paper. So how do you know if you've chosen the right theoretical framework? The theoretical framework should align to your problem, purpose, significance, and research questions. If any of these are misaligned, you may want to choose another framework, or, if you are really interested in this theory, another topic. Keep in mind that your personal beliefs will affect how you approach your research, and in particular, your framework. This is not a bad thing, but you should always be aware of how your worldview affects your research and should be prepared to discuss your positionality. More concretely, here are some steps you can take to choose a theoretical framework. You can also learn more about these steps in Grant and Osanlu's article, which is linked at the end of this presentation. Begin by identifying your beliefs. Next, consider several theories that intersect nicely with your beliefs and broaden your way of thinking about the concepts in your study. Third, develop a working knowledge of the theories and understand why each theory is important to you. Fourth, conduct a brief literature review to find support for your theories. Fifth, consult databases to review how others have applied the specific theories you are considering. Sixth, consider arguments that oppose your beliefs and theories. 7. Apply answers to how the theory connects to your problem, the study's purpose, significance, and design. And finally, select one theoretical framework that provides a solid, descriptive blueprint for your reader. You might be wondering, how does this all come together? Here is an example from my own research that may serve as a guide. First, the problem statement. Aspirations may lead to attainment, but little is known about this relationship for low-income BIPOC workforce development participants. The research questions are aligned. What is the relationship between educational and economic aspirations and achievement as described by low-income BIPOC workforce development participants? What are the key factors that low-income BIPOC workforce development participants identify as helping them turn their aspirations into realized achievements? Note the theoretical framework. The division of labor in society allows stratification to remain unchallenged. And related to this, the literature review. Overall, own aspirations since childhood strongly predict labor market outcomes as well as educational achievements later on. Take a moment to note the alignment between all 4 of these pieces driven by the theoretical framework. Thanks for taking the time to learn more about how you might let the theoretical framework guide your research. If you're looking to learn more, here are some resources that may help. As always, you can also visit the Graduate Writing Center to learn more. Happy writing!